Welcome to Gym Owner Freedom. I am Scott Carpenter, and I am a former broke, struggling, frustrated, and overworked gym owner that felt stuck no matter what I did to try and improve the business. Once I realized that the answer wasn't what I thought it was, just getting more clients, and after really doing the math on acquisition and churn rates, I realized I wasn't even playing a winnable game to begin with. With my current price structure, mathematically, there was no way I could afford to pay my staff so I could scale up and out of the business, that I can have the time, the money, the impact, and the freedom that I always knew I was capable of. Once I learned how to add value by selling transformational programs to people who needed more than just workouts, everything changed in my life. Today, I own 6 gyms that all run without me, and I am free to pursue my passion projects and work just because I love to, not because I have to. And if that's a goal that we mutually share together, then this is the show for you. I'm going to teach you the framework to make way more money with less clients and open up a world of possibilities to you. Subscribe, leave a review, and tune in every week. It'll change your life. I promise you that. Welcome, everybody. We have this going in the live Zoom room, which is always the best way because we can see your chat comments and you can stay on afterwards, in particular to get some live coaching for me if you need it. But yeah, we've got an exciting one today. So we have special guests on here. Welcome, Sierra. We're going to talk a little bit about how you went from, kind of being stuck at $25K a month in revenue in your gym. And recently, last month, you just exceeded that. You blew it away. I think you topped over $53,000 a month in revenue. And you did this. You're primarily a 6-week challenge gym, but you did this by adding a true high ticket offer on top of that. And I think you even were able to raise your 6-week challenge rate from, I think, $599 to $999 as well. So just incredible. It's the power of price. And so welcome. Thank you for taking the time to kind of come on here, show people what you've done and talk about it, which is pretty cool. And you're also from Chicago, which is where I'm originally from, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, I grew up outside of Chicago. So I grew up around Naperville and Aurora for most of my childhood. Where are you at?
I'm in Elgin area. So I went to college in Lisle, Benedictine. So I'm familiar.
Oh yeah. I know all those places. And Elgin's just east, I believe, on the way into the city, right? Is where yeah.
Yes.
It's been 15 years since I moved out to Arizona, and I don't miss it at all, but I am losing my sense of geography around that area, like every year by year.
I think it's northwest from me, Aurora area. So we're not that far though, like 40 minutes.
Yep. Okay. And so, you've been through our high ticket launch program with Dave primarily leading that up with you. So
yes,
Dave, I know you wanted to say a few things and before we kick this off.
Yeah, no, I know I'm kind of like a Dustin Hoffman and Rain Man. Like after an onboarding, I know if they're going to be a killer. Like I was like, this is it. So I remember, Sierra, our initial onboarding, like we'll get into the kind of the sad part of this story. I remember our initial onboarding though. It was actually, I'm doing some intermittent fasting now, which I'm pretty jacked up about. But that day I was doing lunch and I went down and I told Carrie, we have us a killer. She's like, really? And here's the bottom line. Like we work with a lot of gyms. Like I know a killer when and I told my wife, I'm like, we have a freaking killer. You better watch out. You joined initially, I think probably during one of the busiest seasons of your life though. Like looking back, I think you joined like in November-ish initially, December. And I think there was probably some miscommunication on our end. So I'm going to take some responsibility for it, but you never were able to really like completely buy in to that initial cohort. So Sierra reached out to me and said, this program's not right for me, right? Do you remember the email that you wrote? This program's not right for me. And I said, in my head, I said, yes, it is. Let's jump on a call. So we jumped on a call and I remember I said, Sierra, we built this program for you. I go, do it for 8 weeks. And if you don't blow up, I'll give you all your money back. You remember the conversation? Did you ever think in your wildest dreams, your launch would have been that? Because I said it boldly, right? I was like, this program we built for you. Did you ever think in your wildest dreams, like when you did your launch, it would have been what it was?
No, I did not. you know, and even on the first day, you kind of humbled me because I was on actually my second first day. Because I was like, I'm gonna sell, I think I said 60 or 70K. I was like, I'm gonna sell, you're like, most gyms do like 30, 20. So I'm like, all right, okay. Like, let me lock in. But the first time, it wasn't you guys, it was me. I was a part of another coaching program. I was trying to get everything set there. Obviously, that's the toughest time in fitness. So November, December is when I joined. And so like seeing my numbers go down, but trying to focus on these other things, I'm like something's up. I'm getting distracted. And then in January, it was me again. I wasn't focused enough to be able to get on the calls, make the calls. And that's when I sent you that message. But I'm like, man, but I made this investment and I'm happy I reached out to you because, I don't even know. I'm like, you lost, just let it go. Like, it is what it is. And then you were like, no, Sierra, this is for you. Let's try it again. I'm like, but I almost didn't like, I didn't expect that from the conversation. I had already wrapped my mind around, I was done. Like, I'm just going to focus on what I'm doing now, which is just focusing on 6-week transformations. And you were like, no, just try it again. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to commit because obviously I was stuck. I was stuck at like 25K for like almost 4 to 5 months. And I'm like, something has to push me over the top. Like something has to give. And I actually showed up to the calls, started implementing slowly. It was planned out perfectly. And when I was finally ready, I was ready.
100%. And we've ran, I think at this point, like 18 or 19 cohorts. Like, and honestly, like I know a killer because the foundation that you had built was exactly what our legends that come in with a strong foundation like you, they just scale. Like you had a team. You already were really freaking good at this 6-week challenge. Like you had that down. Your nutrition coaching, you had the personality, right? Like you weren't playing from behind. Like your gym was already successful. So like that's the boxes that you checked where I knew, holy crap, if you go all in with it, like I didn't know we'd be having this conversation today, but that's the why, because you checked off all of the boxes. Like you've been in the game, you have one of your best friends, I think, is part of your team, right? And she's kind of like your nurture person, right? Like you have a solid team of people that you're working with too.
Yeah. So one of my clients who's been with me for 4 years, I promoted her as my lead nurturer because obviously she's been a client for 4 years. She knows the business, like,
yes,
like it's my baby, it's her baby. And then I have someone, like a lot of these people that I'm part of my team are people that trained with me before. And they're like, you should do this, you should do this. And me being the smart ass, I'm like, you should help me. And that person, and then if they actually have the skills to help me to do so, I'm like, that's how I've met a lot of my team now. So, yeah. So last year we were putting all those pieces together. It was my first time. I just hired a team, like in only a year. But for that, it was me and one of the girls that I coached. I coached her in basketball in 8th grade. She needed a job when she was 15. And it was just me and her. She was like my helper, and then she's kind of been with me for 3-4 years now. She's in college. So that was it. It was me and this little teenage helper. I'm gonna be honest, she's not even certified, but she's a killer. She's awesome. She's been around me for 4 years. So putting all those pieces together, because obviously we had to offer a little more with our 6-week transformation, like just really toning up on it, the accountability, nutrition, and then I was just so locked in on that, and we saw great success when we launched that last year. But I was still, my highest was like 30K, 35K, 34K, something like that. And then from November-ish, it started to drop and I was at 25. So I'm like, all right, like, what is it? What's going to push me over the hump? Like, what am I not doing? What am I not seeing? And then boom, it was a high ticket offer.
Yeah.
That's it.
Should we blow people's minds now, Sierra? Because now, like, we're not gonna sugarcoat things. We're gonna tell people exactly how you did this. So
yeah, absolutely.
You are a 6-week challenge gym. If you're watching this on replay, you better rewatch it on replay. Like, this is the secret sauce. Like, what Sierra did should be the playbook if you have a 6-week gym. No ifs, no ands, no buts. let's start. What's the difference between 6-week and this new mentorship program? Let's first talk about price points, right? So what are you charging for your mentorship program?
I started at 2,500.
Started, this is keyword, started at 25.
Yeah.
We already had that discussion. So 2,500 starting point, 6-week starting. Listen, because we have raised that, which we'll get to in a minute. What was your starting point for the 6-week?
Starting point was $799.
Okay. So 2 price points on the menu. Now, why in the hell would anyone pay $2,500 for a program compared to $790? That's a question we had to answer, right?
Yes.
What's the answer to that question for all the 6-week gyms out there? What is the difference?
You have to value stack it. Like the main thing, you have to value stack it. And like I said, I was handing off a lot of duties to my team. This was me, which a lot of my members and people, they already kind of wanted, you know, just that access. And again, everyone doesn't get it. This is like, not a lot of these, but I value stacked the hell out of mine. Like but I needed that to make it make sense in my head. So I gave supplements, I gave exclusive merch, access to Sierra, you know, that's a selling point for sure. Weekly, you know, accountability check-ins, kind of exactly what you were doing for me. And they still do group training, which was, again, that was the hard part for me to get. Like, wait, I'm not personal training them for 2,500. You're like, no, you're just checking on them. And I'm like, like, you know, so I had the value stack and just building the value in that mentorship program and making it different for the 6-week transformation. And again, when I came back in, I think I had sold, like, I was just kind of playing around with it, throwing the price out there. And remember, I had sold someone into it. And I'm like, but now she's here. I don't really know how to offer it. Then in January, that was my first one. And I was like, I don't really know how to offer it. And I actually made a mistake with her because I thought I had to personal train her. So even just to go back and have that conversation, like, hey, this is not actually, it's not personal, but she still stayed. And I'm like, okay, so then I need to figure out how to do this the right way. And it just all aligned to where you allowed me to do it a second time, do it the right way. And I had to figure it out at that point. So maybe that was really the it, because I had one fish on the hook. I'm like, all right, well now you took her money. You got to figure it out.
I love that. So you said something a little bit earlier on, probably about 2 minutes ago, and I think it's like the value stack is important, but they get you. They get you. I want you to talk about that because you can value stack it. It's important, but that's you know, that's a lot of 6-week in that. They get you though. So I want you to go like, what is like, I think that was the light bulb moment I think you had. We're like, wait a second here. Like people don't come to the gym for workouts and nutrition. Like they don't come for exclusive merch, right? Like they need a leader. They need a guide. So like talk about like, I want you to talk specifically about that portion.
So what I was doing in the process, I was kind of working on exiting my business, but obviously I was still spending so much time on it. But the members that were used to seeing me every day were no longer seeing me every day. And they still wanted that personal touch, but it's like, no way in hell am I going and training at 5 a.m. Like I'm not doing, like that's just not where I'm at anymore. So I think you said it on a call and it was just like building something you're actually passionate about again. And I really had like offering something so great and building an offer to where it's not just about working out. And like I said, my trainer days are dead because I don't want to just watch people work out. That's the easy work. That's the light work. Like to actually make an impact in someone's life and building that and getting excited about that, and that was it for me. And now, like, when you taught me how to really get the hell, get them into heaven, and then actually like knowing these girls' goals, like it's not just fitness, you know, and I think my target, I think we niched it down to like entrepreneurs. So like helping entrepreneurs just like me be fit and spiritually, emotionally, mentally, so they can handle their business. You know what I'm saying? They can go out and do great things and make and transform people, other people. You know what I'm saying? So them making the transformation in order to help other people is like my why. I want them to be their best self. And it's not just losing 10 pounds, losing 20 pounds. Like make the goal sexy, pretty much. And that's what like just lit my fire up for this whole business again, because I was like, I'm gonna listen, we're good. I'm making a profit even with the 25K. I was 10-15 of that was profit. I didn't have to do anything. Like my deal is super sweet right now. So I'm like, in a year from now, I'm gonna exit. You know, I'm gonna sell this thing, hopefully scale it and exit, like fitness. And I'm just gonna go live my life in you know, me in Mexico. But no, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't do that. I have I got kids. I have to be here, so I have to get passionate again. And I had to figure out what that was for me. And this was it.
Do you want to sell more high ticket? Because I just freaking tricked you and you don't even know it. So what you have to do, and for anyone watching, guys, rewatch about 2 minutes ago, when you started talking about the mentorship program working with you, you have to rewatch that. That's your pitch. So when someone's like, what's the difference between a 6-week and a mint? It's that right there. So for anyone watching live, like rewatch that. That's how you can sell your 6-week program at 3 times the price. That right there. Seriously though, Sierra, it's like rewatch that. You could feel the energy and the passion come out of you. And a lot of it is passion and conviction. That's what sells high ticket programs.
Yeah. And then that first lady lost 28 pounds in 12 weeks. And then that really built my conviction for the real launch in May. I'm like, all right, we got this. And literally what I just said to you, I can like literally see my slides in my head when I'm pitching. That's what's on the slide. That's exactly how I say it. Like it's not that's how I talk it.
I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
So high ticket, I think we were like, Scott, we did a pretty good job right there. Like, no, I didn't do a pretty good job. Freaking Sierra did. Do you want to touch on anything else, like kind of like high ticket before we transition? Because we got a lot more gold in this interview.
Yeah, just this is the common thing, right? Because we work with a lot of gym owners who do 6-week challenges, or have done them or heavily revolved around that. And that's why it is hard for people to get their head around, well, I'm already doing nutrition and accountability, and I'm charging $5.99 for it. I'm charging $7.99 for it. This is probably the 2 most popular price points. So I'm already doing all that. So like, what is this high ticket offer? Because I'm already doing all that. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's part of the problem though, is that you're kind of stuck at a certain level because you're giving a lot for a little quite often. Now, that play works well in some gyms. In some gyms, it falls flat because the churn is just really too high and the cost per acquisition and doesn't balance out. So whether it's working for you or not working for you, it's a valuable piece. Having a strong 6-week challenge, something like that, that's a really good mid-ticket offer. I know it's kind of billed as like a high ticket, but it's not. It's very much a mid-ticket offer. And they're like, well, what's the difference between how do I sell this thing for $2,500, $3,500 for like a 9-week program? Or, some people it's 8, some it's 12, most are 9, how we do it. But what is the damn difference? Right. And yeah, that's what it is. And it's not much. Like the deliverables are 90 something percent the same. Right.
Yeah.
The only thing is that, it's Sierra taking somebody by the hand and helping them believe in themselves again, helping them not just with nutrition, but helping them connect it to their greater reason why they really want to make the change, helping them become the person that they really want to become, to live their best life. And guys, the way to fulfill that on the back end is really easy. You do an onboarding session and then you meet with them, typically over phone or Zoom. You can do it in person if you want, once a week for like 20, 30 minutes. That's it. And they will pay you multiples times and they will love it. And they will keep doing it. I can't tell you. So it's the difference between your 6-week challenge might be your nutrition and accountability versus your high ticket, which is a mentorship. And I'm with you, Sierra. Like I don't work in any of the gyms anymore, any of my gyms, but I got so bored of the on the floor giving workouts thing. Like a decade ago. You know what I mean? And this is a way that you can really impact people's lives. And that's why most of us got into this business in the first place, is to really change people's lives. Because fitness was a big thing for us. But then when you break down into it, you realize that, yeah, it's actually really hard to change people's lives. They're not a fitness nerd like we are. And it's really hard to do that. Well, this mentorship is how you do that. Right. And teaching you how to fulfill it. And at first, people are like really doubtful. They're like, well, I don't really grasp the difference between giving nutrition and holding them accountable versus a mentorship. And just like Sierra said, okay, she sold one. She's like, oh shit, I better back it up then. And then 28 days, she got like far better results for this client than, you know, nearly anybody else she's ever worked with. And you're like, okay, now you're a believer. Now, Sierra, you're a believer in the power of this. And once that clicks, once you take somebody through it and they get some results, you're like, oh, I get it now. And then it's game over, because the conversations you have with those people moving forward, it's night and day. You have the confidence, you have the conviction, you know what it can do for somebody's life. And then it's game over, because now you just sit down and boom, 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 boom. And yeah, you'll run into people who can't afford it. But you know what? You'd be surprised who'd be willing to do it anyways, because it's that valuable when you get good at it. And also, you have a strong mid-ticket. So if there's somebody who's just like, oh God, Sierra, this is exactly what I need, I just can't afford it, and you can't break that, and there's nothing you can do, not a problem. We've got this amazing 6-week program that's going to be 80 to 90% of this. We're going to leave no stone unturned for you to get to your goals. You're in great hands. And so you're just delivering literally a better experience for everybody, especially you, the business owner, which is important, because like now you're living your passion in again. You know, it gets really easy to get stale. Dave, you and I went through this kind of thing, right? And then COVID shut us down. We learned all these, we spent way too much money with different coaches. We figured out this true high ticket game, and then we bolted it into our business, but it was exciting again for the first time in a long time. And that is priceless. Like when you can wake up and be excited about business again, that's pretty cool. So anyways, that's my 2 cents, but yeah, go ahead, Dave.
I love
it. What Scott said, the high ticket made my 6-week look like a steal.
Yes.
Just even showing and saying that higher price, to where I didn't go up until middle of the month. I'm like, this is too low. People are saying yes to my 6-week too easy. Like literally. And we got 30 new signups last month. I did that to control traffic, because we haven't sold 30 people since last summer in a month. And I had a coach leaving. I went up on my 6-week, $200 to control traffic, and that didn't stop anything. Like,
yeah,
it's making us figure it out.
Yep. That's incredible. And that's what people don't realize. Even if you're not super awesome at selling high ticket right away, it just being there as a price anchor will just make you sell your 6 weeks so much easier, to the point where you can raise the rates and your closing percentage is still the same or goes up. It's wild. That's awesome.
Well, Scott, you skipped ahead. That was actually step number 3. It's like you guys both nailed it. You don't even have to sell your high ticket. Like you can, it's the new word that we're really using, recruition, recruition. Is that a word? The bottom line is you get to recruit. I don't think it's a word. You get to recruit the people you love working with. Like that's what your high ticket item on the menu is like I'm thinking in my head right now, my favorite 10 clients, I told them you're doing the mentorship program, because I went with the energy of like, hey, you're perfect for this program. Just like I told you, Sierra, hey, you're perfect for this program. Let's do it. So you guys both nailed it. For you 6-week gems out there, just having that offer on the menu keeps you so locked in. Sarah, worst case scenario, if you never sell another high ticket program, just having your 6-week at $9.99, what does that do for your business?
It helps with ad costs that we're spending. Okay. Like I do the traditional, Alex Hermosi model, spend 100 a day. So it helps my, they call it CAC, cost to acquire a client. And then obviously the cost to get a lead as well. So like that dropped. I think I was at like 25 at the end, $25 for per lead, and then my cost to like fulfill was like $100. So it's offset my expenses, first of all, and it just helped me to focus on, I mean, the people who really want it. I'm in large group, so for 4 years I've been trying to get 100 members, and I kind of just came to the realization, I'm like, okay, what if you never get 100 members? How do you make the most of these 80, 90 that you have right now? Like, that's kind of been your stuck point. How do you make the most of that? Stop trying to like build more people and just find the revenue inside the gym with the people that you already have.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep. That's huge. That's absolutely huge, because a lot of times the only solution that gym owners think is out there is getting more members, more members, more members, more members, more members, more members.
Mhm.
But most of us are stuck at some point, and the answer has not been just more leads and more members. And that's so smart, Sierra. It's when you bring that average price point up and do it by a lot, and adding high ticket is just explodes it. But even if you only sell 1 to 2 high ticket a month, and you take your mid ticket and go from add $200 onto it, which that's a 6 weeks. So you're adding what, 150. I mean, if we average that out, because that's a month and a half, that's like adding $150 per month per member onto it changes the ball game in a big, 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 big way. Price is the number one leverage point, because we're all in our different markets, and 100 members is a lot in a lot of markets.
Mhm.
It really is. And every market has an equilibrium where you've got acquisition and churn, and they're fighting each other. And you're like, I can't get past this. I can't get past this. There's just this ceiling with volume. And that's not always the smart answer is not always breaking through and fighting that. The smart answer can be, how do I make more money with the same amount of clients that I already have right now? And that can be a far easier path to success for like almost all of us. That's really good. That's a good point.
Love it. Love it. So high ticket versus mid ticket. We have that established. I think everyone, if you're listening, like you should, and keep in mind, guys, it takes a lot of live reps to get this too. Like Sierra, like you can talk about like the cohort, like it took a while for this to hit, right? It was those live reps. It was the conversations with everyone in the cohort, right? So like, if you're watching this, you might not get it like right now. Like the more live reps you get, Sierra, how long did it take for you? It's probably halfway through the cohort. You're like, okay, I really understand. Correct?
The cohort ended and I still didn't have one.
Yep.
It ended. So it was like week 10, and I'm like, all right, it's time. Like, just say it. Just say it. People, and I was like, these people are gonna think I'm insane. They're gonna think I'm crazy. Cause I said it to everyone, not just members. I offered this if you came in and booked a consultation to like, I said this, I kept the wording the same. Like, we have this 90-day transformation, but most people go here. And what I tell you, like 2 or 3 of those were cold leads, paid ad traffic leads coming in for a 6-week transformation consultation, and end up signing up for this 90-day thing. And then I only had time to have five or six conversations with my actual dream list. So out of 6 conversations, I got 4 of them. So they were like, yeah, like, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? And then one of them, like, I can't do it right now, but she's watching like every story, seeing what they are doing. And I know she's in my next one that we're launching in August. Like, I'm already ready for it.
I love it. I love it. And what Sierra's talking about there, guys, like if you guys are tuning in, like what the heck is the dream list? So we just onboarded a new cohort. What the dream list is, there's 100 people in your phone on social media that you get down with, that you just like, I like their personality. I like their energy. So here's the crazy part. Like right now, or an hour ago, I was just saying, you guys have to reach out to 100 people on your dream list. The crazy thing is, Sierra, you've only reached out to 6 of them. So we still have another 90 plus people on site of your dream list to outreach to, which is, it's absolute, that's insane.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know once people start hearing about this and you know, in my gym, it's gonna be even more crazy. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, that's the cool thing is like once you have a few people go through this transformational program and you get to share their story, the other members in your gym may be like, what is that? Like, I want to do that. I want those results. Because it's not just a weight loss, guys, what you're talking about. Remember, this whole mentorship, it's you're changing somebody's life. It's you're giving them a sense of control over their lives. A lot of times they are just scrambling all the time. They're unhappy with where they're at. They're uncomfortable in their own skin. And you're going to help them regain confidence and get control of their lives, make themselves a priority again. So yeah, the weight loss and this and that, that's one thing, but like who they're changing, how they're changing inside and who they're changing as a person, that's the story you get out there. How many people want that? It's a lot. It's a lot. And your own clients are going to come to you and ask you about this program too.
Yeah. And can I just say my clients, I'm a large group. So I do the 49 a week, 196 a month of every 4-week model. They went up to a $2,500 program. And that's why I did not think it was possible. And I was actually supposed to offer it to members for less, but I'm like, no, the way I'm about to value stack this thing, it is worth 2,500. And again, it was the fear that they're going to think I'm insane when I tell them they're paying 200 every 4 weeks. When I tell them I'm offering a 90-day program for a 12-week program for 2,500.
Yeah.
And when my first one said yes, I'm like, what? Yes? I didn't even have a charge for it. I had to create a charge inside Push Press. I'm like, all right, let's like I had to go make a contract really fast. I was editing it in my phone as I was talking. Like, let me go print this out and let's just get it on paper and we'll switch this over later. So like, I thought I was until like the more I talk about it, just the more it makes sense. And the more I do it, the more it makes sense. Like, why not? And then the next time, this will be like 5K. Like, that's my goal. Make this so valuable that it's worth $5,000.
Absolutely. And isn't that amazing? Because like at first, we hear this a lot from gymmers. They're like, there's no way people around me would pay that. There's no way it's worth that. Right? We just have these false beliefs in our head about what we're worth and what we can charge. And sometimes I forget about that because Dave, we've been doing this for so long in our gyms. We're doing it for years. So we're like, hey, man, what's the big deal? What are you talking about? But when you're a large group gym, you know what I mean? And you're at $100 and something bucks a month for your regular membership. And even thinking for like a $599 or $799 6-week challenge, you're like, holy cow, that's a lot. Like who on earth would ever pay? The answer is, yeah, shit tons of people without blinking an eye. And that's the whole thing, guys. If the best thing on your menu is the $599, is the $799, guess what? That's the most amount you're ever going to get. Hey, just a quick reminder to everybody, if you are ready to start making an extra $10,000 more this month, every month, by making more money with less clients with transformational programs and create a consistent flow of high quality leads, you can learn more about what it's like to work with me and my team at PT Legends and how ridiculously affordable it is at CoachScottCarpenter.com. It is such a no-brainer that it more than pays for itself when we teach you how to enroll just two case study clients. Really, that's it. So go to CoachScottCarpenter.com and learn more about it. But some people want the best option. There's a lot of people who want the best option. So you better have something that's $2,500, $3,500, $5,000, $6,000. Sierra, you having an executive transformational offer on the table should be there. You know, we've had people do them for as high as $7,000 and $8,000 for a 9-week executive transformational program. Taryn, Shannon, we got people who do that for online only, like 5K online only for a 12-week, usually 12 weeks at that point, virtual transformational program. And so for those of you listening out there, like, there's no way I could do that. There's no way people would pay that. I have to tell you politely that that's just wrong. People have done this all over the United States and Canada and the UK and Australia and New Zealand, in person, large group, semi-private, online, virtual only, all over the world. And it's hard to wrap your head around it. I get it. It's hard for Sierra to wrap her head around it. She delayed it because she was just really scared that people would think she was nuts. But then you rip the Band-Aid off, you do it, and holy cow, everything changed in your world in a short period of time.
If I had paid attention in November, I probably wouldn't have hit that slow point. We could have been, and I want to make 50K months our new norm at my gym. So if it was me, it was all me. And I am going to say there are a lot of people online talking about it, online gurus, charge 5 to 10K but like the way you guys teach it, the way you guys taught it, because I've paid for other online programs, a bunch of different programs as well, trying to just figure it out. Like, how do I do this? Man, and I read your book, The High Ticket. That's where it was the start for me. And I'm like, I gotta see what this thing is about. And this pushed me over that hump and over that fear that nobody will ever pay $2,000 for a high ticket at my gym. And that was just hard for me to wrap my head around. Because again, but still my average member is $200 a month, And now I'm saying I want to charge 5K on my next one. So like it's a belief thing. It's a limiting belief if you think that, and then you just have to learn how to do it properly. Yeah.
And we've all had that. I mean, we had that same false belief too that we had to overcome, and we were doubtful. And it's when you finally say it in a consult, we've had to push people out the window sometimes, Dave, like just kick them out the window because there's of an airplane just because they're too afraid to do it. So we call like that butthole pucker, right? It's this sales console where you're just scared to say it, but then you do it and you're like, and they say yes. I'm like, without any objections. You're like, what just happened here? And then you're like, okay, I got to go in and watch the videos on how to fulfill this thing. That's incredible. What an amazing story. And Josh, you put in the comments that, where was it? I have to scroll up on it. But yeah, so one high ticket is almost the ad spend for the whole month. Yeah. Yeah. That's the power. That's what makes it easy because cost per acquisition or CAC, whatever you call it, CPA, CAC, everybody calls it something different. It's hard to make that math work quite often for a lot of gyms in a lot of different areas. But like the minute you have a high ticket, like one of those can nearly cover all of your ad spend with $100 a day. And then even now you're raising your mid ticket by $200. So if you average how many do the high versus the mid, and you look at like your average, like, yeah, you're bridging that gap. That becomes way easier. Even just a mid ticket, when the average front end sale for you increases by $200, now all the math on marketing makes sense. It's a big difference. It's incredible.
Love it.
Can I ask a question real quick, Dave, or will it interrupt?
No, you go ahead, and then I have one final dream bursting question to throw at Sierra.
Okay, I'm going to ask mine after you then.
Okay, so I had this conversation with you, I think, last week. There's so many 6-week gyms out there that it feels stuck. Like stuck in the mud. Just like, well, things are going good, but they're just not going great, right? I think you're going to build the future of the 6-week challenge gym. I think what you're doing is going to be the future. True or false?
Yes. I think now I would not do a sales consult without having this high ticket. Like it is our norm. It is not just because I don't care. The fact that we're in one right now, I don't care. Like I'm going to raise that thing again, make it super, like, again, exciting. Like this thing is whatever, $5,000. If someone says, yes, we're going to figure out how to fulfill it. But it just changes everything because again, it's a hustle. The gym is a hustle. Everyone's trying to run a 6-week transformation. You see those ads everywhere. There's gyms in my area running a 6-week transformation. And everyone's read that $100 million offer book. So even if they're, you know, they've tried it at some point, some type of transformation program. Now having this on top of it is just the icing on the cake.
I love it.
Yeah, because you're right. Everyone runs the 6-week challenge play.
Yeah.
And it's not working for everybody. It's working for some. And for others, but it's everywhere. And it makes things really difficult for everybody because it is everywhere. It's been out for years and years and years. So in some markets, it's still viable if you're a really good operator. In some markets, it may or may not be viable. It really depends on the competition. But what a leg up. This is a way to differentiate yourself. This is a way to make all the math work very easily and get unstuck and move it forward. And yeah, I mean, I really am happy that you came on here because there are so many people running that play, but it's just like, it's not working for them. And so and it's one thing if Dave and I say it, and it's another thing if you just show what you've done on it. And also the resistance you experienced, like even just leading up to offering it. That's so important. It's good to share the good and the bad and the ugly, right?
Absolutely. To know that I could have, again, during the first one, what was the cohort? 8 weeks. So that to know I wasted 16 weeks and then 2 more weeks, because after it ended, it still took me a while. Like we could have been doing this 6 months ago, I feel like.
Yeah. Yep. It's I feel that with all the things in business. It's just like sometimes like, oh, I could have been doing this 10 years ago. Like, jeez. And that's why we're so passionate about this stuff. It's just, you know, I mean, I've been through the worst with business ownership, and I've been like this close to bankruptcy multiple times, nearly lost everything. I put in the 60, 70, 80-hour work weeks because it's like, otherwise I don't eat. You know, I mean, the bills don't get paid when the shit was hitting the fan and things were at the worst. It's hard, you know, and at the end of the day, as much as I struggled as a small business owner, I was lucky enough to make it through. I was lucky enough to be introduced to different ideas and with people. Dave saved me, you know, when shit was hitting the fan. I got really lucky, you know, but we figured shit out, this weird, unique thing, and bolted it together and did it. It just took off. And man, we are really passionate about helping other people do this because it's so life-changing to build the lifestyle that we all truly desire out of our gyms, where our business fuels our lifestyle and our life isn't run by the business. That's hard to get there. But when you get it there, everything changes and life becomes really exciting. And so we're really passionate about helping people bridge that gap.
Love it. Pricey, you had a question. I have to hear the price question.
Yeah, nothing. It's a rehash question, Sierra. I got asked on here in a message if you could just go over your value stack again for your 90-day $2,500 program, and I just want just my little part and hit hard on you said, but what it really is me. So would you go back over your stack and then just hit on that?
Yeah, so my stack includes, so let me start with the 6-week. So 6-week obviously comes with fitness, nutrition, and then an accountability coach to do your check-ins, okay? So then my 90 days still comes with that, but I'm the accountability coach. I don't hand it off to someone on my team. Supplements, okay, I say it's about $1,000 value, okay? So it's protein, just a bunch of stuff that they're going to go look for anyway. I'm solving that problem. And then an exclusive C-Fit merch bundle, which I put basically boxing gloves, shirts, gear in. So when they come, they're getting like the full. So, you know, I'm probably spending on that stuff. I'm probably spending like $500 to $700. I am. And then, but again, it's so, the profit is so crazy on that, like it doesn't matter. So that's my stack. And that's what I had to do to be able to like make sense of this. Now, you don't have to do that. You know, there are some people who are not doing that, who was in my cohort, that are doing some other amazing things. That's just what I had to do to make sense of it for me.
Yep. Yep. You're exactly right. It's just, and you realize now that like, oh, I don't even need to do all that. Just the mentorship, when you learn how to pitch that and you the right way, you don't even need it. But yeah, that stuff can absolutely help. And as we get into it more, and I'll give everybody a graphical view of kind of what these things are. But, and also for those of you on the call, whether you're on the call or watching the replay, we are going to give you a free 15-minute call with us to build out what your prices and offers should be in your market with your model, whether you're group, whether you're semi, one-on-one, a combination. And we'll take a kind of a look at your area and where you're at. We'll help assist build out your high, mid, and low ticket offers. So stay on. I'm going to give you that link. But one thing, Sierra, as you look at like an executive transformation that you could even do, and I'll share this, but am I sharing my screen okay? You guys can see this?
Yep.
Okay. And if we back up from the prices and offers for a second, what Sierra was kind of mentioning with where she was stuck at, like, you know, it's really hard for her to get to and maintain 100 members. It's that acquisition and churn balance out. A lot of times the way to get through that is not by adding more members, but by doubling the average client value, right? And it doesn't mean everybody's going to pay double, but your high and mid ticket will offset enough of the people on your low ticket workout only that, yeah, you can double your revenue with the same number of clients. That's exactly what Sierra was illustrating here. And yeah, you'll have, you know, Sierra leads with her 6-week nutrition accountability, right? Her mid ticket. And then like she's also got the workouts only after that, right? With the group only and stuff like that. Yes. Well, adding that mentorship in is what has changed the game. And she's increased, right, her mid ticket rate. So you're looking at her, she's looking at her ACV in her arm, and you can double this thing very quickly, insanely quickly. One thing that you could consider too is here is having an executive transformation, something charging $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. There's different ways you can build it. We're going to talk about this with you, but there's a way you can add food in there where you literally just drop ship it. I can get you a wholesale account with Icon Meals. I'm got a good connection with Todd Abrams. He's hooked our gyms up with it. And then a while back, I'm like, listen, we work with a ton of other gyms, and this is very low cost to you. And no gyms really like doing, like no businesses like doing this because food margins are thin enough as it is. But you literally get this stuff at 30 to 50% off from what they would buy it on the website for, and they'll drop ship it, right? And there's no receipt in there, so you have your cost on it, but you can bake that into it, and it's really cool. So we'll see if that's a viable option for you. But that's really neat. And the food is where everybody screws up, is it not?
Yeah,
So,
I've had a couple people already ask me for this. So
boom.
I didn't even know. This is my first, I follow your stuff, but this is my first time seeing this slide. So this just got me even more excited.
Oh, hell yeah.
Future. Yeah.
Yep. And you know, it's the easiest thing in the world. You literally set up online and they handle the shipping to this, and the food's amazing. But yeah, like with Todd, like he was able to, I got a good relationship with him, right? And they're big, like they actually sponsor UFC and everything. So they're big and they are flawless in their delivery anywhere in the United States. Boom, like clockwork. And you can customize everything in there. It's so amazing. But he hooked me up. And then I'm like, listen, we work with a ton of different gym owners. Would you be willing to do something like that? And then he's like, well, yeah, but have me on your podcast. And I'm like, done. So the cool thing is yes, we can absolutely do that. We'll talk about that, which is great. But yeah, in what Sierra's been talking about, the cohort, that's, some of you know, it's our high ticket launch program. We'll help you build, self-fulfill, and renew these things, and create your high and mid and low ticket offers for your gym. One thing though, and so we're going to give, I'm going to give you a QR code. I'm going to give you a link. And even if you're watching a replay on this one, we'll make sure it's in the comments or the chats, or if you're listening to it on the podcast, it'll be in the show notes. So you can take us up. We'll hop on with you for 15 minutes, build out your offers, and you can run with them. But what I want you to do for just 1 second, I want to zoom out towards just like how Sierra, you're zooming out with your clients, right? And yes, they come in for the weight loss, but it's more than that. It's helping them become the person that they truly want to become. And this is your same story, Sierra. Okay, great. You've doubled your revenue. That's really damn good. Like, that's really, really good. But the cool thing is like your level of confidence in yourself, your value, what you bring to the table, you as a leader, as a mentor, as somebody that can impact people's lives, you are so much greater than you used to be, right?
Yes.
And that's not going back the other way. You are the main asset in your life, and you've just doubled your own value, at least, which is really cool. It's what makes you feel alive, right? And
Absolutely.
yeah. And that's what I want to get to people across, because a lot of times we're just like focused on just getting through the month or paying the bills or keeping the status quo and not moving backwards. But like people, we are so much more capable of ourselves than we know. And this is where, like, now, like I struggled a long time when I got into gym ownership, but now we get to live a different lifestyle. The businesses provide an amazing lifestyle for me, right? And the first step is creating big, sexy profits. Sierra, you're there now, right? The next step we have to move into is building indestructible wealth. Taking those profits and how do we create wealth that lasts forever out of that? And then in turn, that gives you the step 3, which is you having the lifestyle that you want. You being able to spend the time that just fuels your fire, the stuff that you love doing, offload. Now that you have leverage with people and systems and profit, now you can offload the things that you don't want to do. You get to design your life. That's what we all got into this in the first place to do, right? And so that's Dave and Josh and myself. This is what we're really passionate about. And yeah, there's a lot involved in it, right? You need the leads. You've got to win with your price, with a high, mid, low ticket pricing strategy. You got to build your team to get leverage on your time so you can automate your profits. Getting off your own island so you can learn the things that you don't know. These are all things that you're doing right now. But as we move into step 2, right, this is where we're going to turn profits into lasting wealth so you can design the life that you want. And again, it's kind of a cycle, right? Where the profits build your wealth, drives your lifestyle. And when you're making more money in less time, you have more profits. A few cranks to that flywheel, and now you've built an amazing lifestyle. You have the freedom to live life on your own terms like we all wanted to when we got in the business. And yeah, there's a lot to it, right? And obviously today we're just talking about this little sliver right here. But something like that can have such a massive impact in your life. And again, what we do here, like, I'm so glad here that you came on, because it's one thing for us to tell you guys about. It's another thing for you guys to see it in motion. And everything that we do and teach, it's not theory, guys. We open up the doors. We show you our profit and loss statements. We show you our entire playbooks. We show you how you can bring in lead flows, how you can be the celebrity in your 5-mile radius, right? We show you how you can build indestructible wealth. I show you my investments and what I do with things. I can show you what's going to be in 25 years. At the end of the day, suffering or stuck is where I have been, and I've gotten through to the other side. And our dream for you is to do the same thing. And yeah, we got to take it step by step, but it's to get off that hamster wheel where you're stuck and get in the position where you work because you want to, not because you have to, and build the lifestyle that you want. And that's super, super important. So yeah, some of you guys are step 2 and 3, but a lot of you guys are in step 1 right now, where we've really got to do what you did and double your revenue with the same number of clients, right? So that's what we're talking about today. Step 1, we're just talking about this one little piece right in here. But here's the free offer for you guys. You can get 15 minutes with us, okay? And Josh, Craig, if I can get your help to paste this in the Zoom chat, but also paste it on the online in the comments so people can take advantage. If you're watching this, you can just take your phone and scan the QR code that's up here too. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can just scan that. That'll take you to a link where you can book out a call with us for 15 minutes. Tell us about your business model. Tell us where you're at with it. Tell us what your prices are, and we'll help build out your high, mid, and low ticket offers. So you got an idea of what Sierra did, how you can do this right there in your gym. Sound fair? So yeah, book that out. Now, if you're watching a replay, it's still going to be up there. If you're having a hard time finding it because you're listening to this on the podcast or it's not in the show notes or wherever, Scott@ptlegends.com. You can also email me there, right? And I'll set it up for you that way. But yeah, I mean, what else did we miss, Dave?
No, I think we hit it. Like Sierra, like I knew from day one, and I didn't know we'd lead to this point. And after the conversation I had with Sierra, it really is like the future of 6-week gyms. Like she's living proof. Like I wouldn't have believed it. Like we weren't 6-week experts. She came in, and where she's going now and just the amount of impact that she's going to make on these 6-week gyms that they're just stuck, right? They're doing some good things. They're just stuck, right? Like she's living proof of how it can change in freaking 30 days. So I'm just super pumped for Sierra, her story. It's what gets me out of bed. It really is the future of 6-week gyms.
Yep. I remember Sierra. Go ahead. No, I'll let you go ahead before I.
No, I was just gonna add, I'm executing on the 6-week because I am with Gym Launch. I'm pretty sure anyone that's done the 6-week, I still invested into this because of everything. That's the end goal, Scott, of what you just talked about with wealth and even the next level. And not a lot of mentors and coaches are talking about that. Like, yeah, okay, I'm in this it's still a rat race. Like, I still got to show up every day right now, even to sell those 6 weeks and high to, but like, how do I get to 2? How do I get to 3? And you, again, every time, like, you guys just light me up on, there's a whole nother level that, as just a trainer, 1 year ago, I was a trainer to get to with this. And this program is unlike any other. Like, you can cut this out, but it should be worth more. And I'm on to the next thing with you guys. Like, I'm in, because I need to learn how to get to 2 and 3.
Oh man, that's amazing. And you're right. Like, we aren't charging enough for it. We aren't. And which is crazy, but like, and the reason we're doing that is because we want to help a lot of people. You know what I mean? We're trying to meet everybody where they're at, but you're right. It's way undervalued, but I really appreciate you saying that, because that's one thing that prevents people from like getting on a call or something like that, or learning more about it, is like, they think it's going to be completely outside of their budget to work with us. And we've made it where it's not, and it's because it's important. Like, we've made the money from the gyms, we walk the walk. It's not like this is theory, or we decided to close our locations because it was too much work, and we'll make more money by teaching stuff. No. We made all the money with the gyms. PT Legends and what we do is our passion. I think people can feel it if they're watching this. Like, this is because shit, I've been in bad places. Such bad places. And yeah, it's more than just getting more leads in the door, right? And I can't wait to help build this path with you. There's so much awesome stuff to do, but I can't say, just like you've made, and I've made so many mistakes in the gym with big, on number 1. I've made a lot of mistakes on number 2 and 3 too, with big setbacks. You're talking 6-figure, 7-figure mistakes. And man, can I get somebody there a decade faster? Hell yeah. And that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. There's people on this call that I'm not going to call out that have made a lot. We've all made mistakes. There's only one way you do it. But holy cow, if on 2 and 3, on building indestructible wealth and creating that lifestyle, that took me a long time to figure out, and a lot of mistakes. So, if I can shortcut that for people, incredible. So Sierra, I really appreciate having you on. It's been awesome. I remember when, you wanted to like drop out of it before, and we were, Dave was talking about me. He's like, I can't, like, she's gonna just kill us. We just, I'm not gonna let her go. Like, we've got to do this. And I'm so glad that you stuck it out.
Yeah, I'm happy he allowed me to do it again because like I said, it could have been easy to just give me my money back and whatever, and then I go off and never do this. Like I
Mhm.
can't. I'd still be stuck at that 25K a month. Like I'd still be stuck there, but you guys are awesome. Like even the free, I followed the free advice for a long time and started implementing, and that was pretty much how I sold my first one, off of your free advice. And then just to get in there and go through it, and I'm like, okay, these guys are something special. Even you, Josh, your follow up king is crazy. We talked for about some months before I actually joined. So you
Yeah, look,
all the pieces, and I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Seriously.
I looked it up, Sierra. I started talking to you. It was like June 30th.
Oh
And
my gosh.
yeah, I think you signed up in November. And you weren't even in. I was doing a teaching on follow up, and I was like, and this is why you do it, because I followed up with Sierra from June to November, and it's
It-
worth it to get these people in. Like, and like when you know you have somebody, because I knew all the way back then and knew you were perfect for the program. I was like, you just keep helping, you just keep helping, help them all the way into the program, and it's always worth it. So just a little moment, my TED talk. Yes, thank you for coming to my TED talk.
yeah, you're behind the scenes, but you're the man too. You got me to push up, like really take the step and do it. So I appreciate you.
Yep. And you know what? So, guys, when you do high ticket inside of your gym or whether you do it online, I mean, we help a lot of people build online movements who their gyms are on autopilot now, right? And growing. But like Dave said earlier in this call, it's changing the mindset of like sales and marketing to like recruiting. When you find somebody that you're like, I want to work with this person, I want to change this person's life, it just shifts the paradigm. You know what I mean? And like, not everybody's going to fall under that, but your high ticket people will. And when you approach them differently, and like, it's yeah, we met you on this and that. Like, no, we're not gonna let you not work with us. Like, it's just not gonna happen because we know we can change your life. And that's the cool thing when you have a high ticket program like that. Yeah, it changes it, right? Where it's like you're recruiting. Forget sales, right? You're recruiting somebody. You're picking out who you want to work with and making it happen. If I followed up like Josh, I'd be a millionaire.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. And as your high ticket program gets, more expensive and this and that, we figure things out. And again, we got so much to work on still. But yeah, this is where all of a sudden our scope and our idea of our dreams and what our business can be totally changes. We realize that those barriers we thought existed were just in our heads. So, man, I mean, you coming on and sharing this is going to change so many business owners' lives. It just is. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing that.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Well, we'll cut it here, guys. Sierra, thank you so much. We got so much to work on still. I'm super excited. And we're just going to build the profit lifestyle for you, and we're just in the first part of the game.
I'm ready.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming on live. Thursday, 12 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. ESC. We're always here for you, showing up live to teach you guys exactly what we do, to show you guys exactly what we do, and how the awesome people that are in our network, we're literally building the community of the greatest gym owners on the planet. And it's so exciting because with each one of you rock stars, everything gets better. Everything is better. And that's why this thing has gotten so good over the years, is because of all the input of all of us. It's a community effort, which is amazing. So make sure you're booking out your 15-minute call with us. If you want to learn more about our high ticket launch program or our that's our express program, or our mastermind, which is a year long. We don't have time to go over it on that one. We have to book out a separate call, but you're welcome to do that. Just let us know. And if you throw it in the chat, send a DM to me. Be happy to spend more time with you. If you didn't want to get on this call, but you wanted to learn more about our programs, happy to do it. You hop on this 15-minute call. It's all about you. Okay. If you want to learn more about our programs, we'll schedule another thing. This is not a sales call. So take advantage of it. We'll talk to you guys soon. Appreciate you guys coming on, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you are ready to start making an extra $10,000 a month or more this month by making more money with less clients and create a consistent flow of high-quality leads, you can learn about what it's like to work with me and how ridiculously affordable it is at CoachScottCarpenter.com. And if you got any value out of this episode, please pay it forward and leave a review for this show. It helps other gym owners find the answers to the huge problems that we all share. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.